Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Thomas Rickert, and I'm a Senior Customer Success Manager here at LinkedIn. Some of you on this call may be familiar with Matt Davis. Matt will continue to be your Customer Success Manager. Myself and Matt came up with the idea of rotating who runs these webinars because we do run them quite frequently. So the idea of today, if I could just go through an agenda. We're going to have a look at the key points of the LinkedIn Recruiter tool itself. I will do a live demo, and in the live demo, we'll have a look at some key benefits and the latest features, showcase the less obvious tips and tricks, and then answer any questions. Now, we have scheduled this morning in for around 45 minutes. Chances are it won't take up that time. It isn't a product-heavy session. Today is really suited to anybody looking for a refresher course or somebody new to the tool. So it's a low-level view of the tool. Those of you who are not familiar with WebEx, just take a moment just to familiarize yourself with the chat box. I will have that open throughout the session. And if you have any questions, just shoot them through to me. If I can answer it during the session, I will. If not, I'll just revert to it at the end. But as I mentioned, it's not product heavy. I have roughly around 3 or 4 slides to get through. And then after that, then I'm going to kick into the live demo and we'll look at the tool itself. So I'm just going to use a few seconds and just have a look at the chat box. And I also just want to say, if anybody is having trouble hearing me or seeing the slides, just to let me know. I have had some problems with WebEx recently, so I just want to make sure everybody can see and hear me. Okay, great. I don't see anybody saying that they're having problems. Okay, excellent. So we put a lot of investment in updating the LinkedIn interface in 2016, and we will continue that into 2017. And the reason we did it really is we wanted to be aware and also to be respectful of the fact that a lot of our members or people who use the LinkedIn Recruiter, who use the tool itself, are not necessarily devoted to recruitment. So, you could be a HR business partner or a consultant that has other responsibilities. So, when we looked at what we could do to actually improve the tool and improve the experience, we reached out to a lot of people. So a lot of our members would have received surveys, and very well, some of you on this call may have received them. And really the main theme that we received back was time and cost. So we've created, with that in mind, we've created an intuitive search interface which will help you find talent faster. So really trying to cut down on the time it takes to actually run an effective search. We want to help you discover new talent. Again, some of the feedback coming through is that you keep coming across the same profiles again and again. So we looked at, the network data and what we have via our LinkedIn.com platform, and we brought some of that data into the Recruiter in a way of suggestions, which is what we're going to look at shortly, and suggestive searches. So it's really so you don't miss out on the new talent. You've also got additional filters such as company and skills, and you might not necessarily have looked at them previously. And lastly then, the theme behind Recruiter, you want to identify warm leads, really helping you to optimize your outreach strategy. Again, if we're putting all of our effort into identifying the best talent, discovering new talent, you don't want to miss out on talent. So we want to make sure that when we reach out, we are getting the best possible level of response rates. So how does this look? We've reduced the need for you to be a Boolean expert. So for those of you on the call who are not aware, Boolean is a search logic which allows you to use different commands such as and or and not and join them together. And what happens is then is you create a keyword string. But as I said, we found out that a lot of you are not necessarily dedicated 100% recruiters. So the knowledge of Boolean, perhaps, it was not something that was critical within your role. In fact, some of you may not even be aware what Boolean is. So in this new experience of Recruiter, we've introduced 2 methods of a guided search, and that's what you can see on screen there. The first of those is a job title search. So you enter a job title into the tool, and the interface will guide you with some suggestions that will give you and help you along the right path. So really, really quick and lightweight. And just a touch note on that. So the suggestions are not, so for example, we're going to see this when I log into the tool, but if I was typing, or as you can see on screen, it says project and not highlighted, it says manager. So what that is telling you is with our member base, people who have the word project in their title, generally that's followed by the word manager. So that's not LinkedIn saying to you, we think you should go with project manager. That's what's telling you that judging by our members, people who have the word project then have the word manager. And then the second way of searching is, when you're sitting down with your hiring manager and you're trying to identify, key attributes that would make successful candidates, a lot of the time we can't say, what that secret sauce is, what would make the ideal person. So what we've done is we've created a lookalike search, which in turn, it's a great place to start. And I don't want to explain too much about that. I want to show you it, so I'm going to move on now. So when you actually run your search, once you're into the results, we want to make sure that you're not missing out on the talent that will be relevant to you, and in fact, you're discovering new talent. So with smart suggestions, that's highlighted on screen, you can tap into very, very powerful economics. You can really drill down into the data, which can help you uncover new talent and hidden talent. It is tapping into our member base data and showing you in the form of suggestions. Once again, really, really powerful and lightweight. And then lastly, your initial search results will show you, great candidates who do meet your search qualifications, but it hasn't always been easy to tell whether these candidates would actually be interested in your role, or sorry, be interested in your company. So with the help of these filters that you can see, we call these spotlights. So the ones that I've highlighted is engage with your talent brand, and then on the right-hand side, past applicants. So these are really unique tools that you would, if I was running a search, that would be my starting point. So people who have engaged with my talent brand, i.e. people who are aware of my company already, statistically speaking, you're more likely to get it engaged, or you're more likely to get a response from somebody if they are aware of the actual company itself. And then past applicants, obviously people who have been interested before and for whatever reason were unsuccessful. There's also one other one there, which isn't on screen in the screenshot, but we will see when I run a live search, and it's called Open to New Opportunities. And Open to New Opportunities is really a cool feature. So it's people who have anonymously raised their hand and said that they are willing to have a conversation. They are interested in moving. So once again, when you run a search, you really want to have a look at these spotlights, and as a starting point, these are the type of people you want to contact. So just before I start going into the live demo, I'm going to pause for one moment. Has anybody got any questions on what we went through? Now, bearing in mind what I just went through, we're going to look at on screen anyway. Please just put them in the chat box if you do. Yes, Carly, yeah, this is the new interface. So some of you, it's not fully ramped yet for the purposes of this example, because I have the new interface. They're the screenshots that I have chosen. I think the ramp is at about 50 to 60% at the moment. It should be 100% by the middle of Q2. But yeah, this is the new interface. Okay, excellent. No more questions. Okay, I'm just going to stop this screen, and I'm going to open the live demo. So hold on with me, guys. Okay, I just want to make sure. So can somebody put in the chat box, can they see my screen? It should be my LinkedIn, my personal LinkedIn.com page. If you could just message me to let me know you can see that, please. Okay, perfect. Okay, basic stuff here, guys. So this is LinkedIn.com. This will be your personal page. In order to get to the Recruiter tool, if you're on the new interface, which I am, it's on the right-hand side here, Recruiter. If you're on the old interface, up the top right-hand side, you will see a picture of yourself, and underneath it, it says Go to Recruiter, and it's highlighted. So just simply select that option. So this is the Recruiter search tool. So something I just want to touch on before I go on. If this is your first time using the tool, you will not see any of what I see on screen here. You will not see any of these updates, and you will not see anything on the right-hand side. This is effectively my search history. So on the right-hand side here, we can see some projects that I've been creating. We can see some job activity. And on the left, we can see some updates from profiles that I'm following and I've selected to receive updates from them. Your activity is here for 90 days. So i.e., if you run a search or if you're looking at something and you forget to save that search, you can get it back by just looking at your activity on the right-hand side. And that's also a quicker way to get into any sort of project. So I can see here I created a winter hire project. It was last updated in February. Last updated means the last time a profile was added to it. But anyway, to get quickly into that profile or into the project, I would just simply click on 25 profiles. Okay, now moving on from that. So this is how we run a search. Now, I'm going to run two searches today. I'm going to run a basic search for a job title, and then I'm going to run a search on the lookalike modeling, which I mentioned earlier. So the first one I'm going to run is just simply looking for a job title. So I'm going to type in the word sales, and we can hear people with sales titles, sales representative titles, sales manager titles. So as I mentioned, this is LinkedIn telling you people on our network with the word sales in it generally have one of the following. So this is trying to help you save some time in a way of a guided search. So I'm just going to click on Sales Manager. Once again, we can see how many candidates there is. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to select the United Kingdom. And then go. Yeah, it's asking me to enter in skills here. We don't have to do it here. I'm not going to. I will do it on the next screen. Okay, so this is a basic search return. We can see we have over 500,000 people, clearly too big of a talent pool to deal with. But what I want to highlight here is some spotlights. Now, you won't be able to see this one, you guys. I can just because obviously I work for LinkedIn, so please just ignore this one. That's just in testing at the moment. I just want to highlight the ones that I spoke about in the screenshot. So open to new opportunities and engage with your talent brand. Now, I'm not going to click on open to new opportunities because it is a live search and I have to be fair to whoever it is that's in that search. But this is where I would start. Open to new opportunities, have a look at these profiles, try and figure out who I think is a match. Now, I did mention with the open to new opportunities piece that it is anonymous users, and it is. So what that means is I work for LinkedIn. I cannot see anybody who works for LinkedIn that says that they're open to new opportunities. So in theory, if I was to select and have a look at the people in this pool, I would not see people from my company. So just rest assured, if you yourself at some point in the future are thinking about moving on, that's how it works. You will not see anybody from your own company. And then, as I mentioned, with the engage with your talent brand. Now, engage with your talent brand is slightly different to following your talent brand. So here we see, sorry, I selected it. There are more spotlights if you select this one. I was just trying to see the company connection one. But engage with your talent brand. So this is anybody who has either commented, shared, or engaged with your brand on our network. If you were to highlight this one and you get more spotlights, you will see people following your company. And that's obviously followers of your company page. So just these are some spotlights that straight away I'd look at. Okay, any questions on that, guys? Okay, I'm getting a question on the more likely to respond. Okay, yeah, so I can see that because I'm a LinkedIn employee, so it's just in testing at the moment. All going well with testing, the rollout will start. What more likely to respond is people who we find are more engaging in regards to in-mails. So we're just testing at the moment, so I can't really tell you anything else, but it's just people who we find are more active on the network and are responsive through in-mails. So I'm afraid I don't have any time frames around when it's going to roll out, but at some point, if all going well with testing, you will be able to see it. Okay, so I just want to move on. On the left-hand side is what we see, or sorry, is what we call refinement filters. So this is really where you try and drill down, and 575,000 people is a bit too much of a talent pool there. Doesn't matter how much time in the world you have, you're not going to get through that amount of people. So really what we want to do is make this manageable. So we do that by selecting our refinement filters on the left-hand side, and there is over 25 of them, guys. This is memory-based. So whatever I have selected previously will appear here. So just bear in mind what you see on screen may be different. Where you find the rest of the filters is if you go to advanced. So I just want to show you two options in the advanced field. So one is, and this is very much part of the feedback that we received, that was we keep on seeing the same people over and over again. Well, we've thought about that and we've listened. So if we scroll down to recruiting and candidate activity, we will see hide previously viewed. And just simply select that option, and that way you won't see the same profiles over and over again. And finally, one more piece that I wanted to show you. Where is it? Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, years of experience and years in current company. So we actually ran a survey last year, and we found that the people that are in their role between 2 to 5 years are more likely to be what we would call a passive candidate. And a passive candidate are those people who are interested and are open to having a conversation. They're not necessarily looking to move, but they are interested. So what I would be selecting here is years in current company, and then we can just filter the options here on the left-hand side. Now, just for the sake of this particular demo, I'm just going to select a few random options because I want to try and get that talent pool down. Now, I'm not going to select high previously viewed because I haven't viewed anybody, and now we're going to run this search. Okay, so by selecting a few random options, we have now got this down to 15,000 people. I didn't put much thought into what I did. I just simply selected business development under skills and people within their role 3 to 5 years. Now, obviously, you can expand on skills. It doesn't just have to be one. And once again, everything that appears here, smart suggestions, these are the common trends that are appearing with anybody under a sales manager title. The skills that they would have would be these skills. Okay, I'm going to leave that particular search alone because I want to show you the lookalike search. But before I move on, if anybody has any questions, please just put it in the chat box. I know I'm running through this at 100 miles an hour, so please, if I'm going a bit too fast, just tell me. But any questions, put it in the chat box. Okay, one of the questions coming through is there a limit to the amount of refinement filters that you can select? No, there is no limit. You can select all of them if you wish. You can select none of them if you wish. The idea behind the refinement filters is really to try and narrow your total candidates down, i.e. try and have a manageable talent pool. You can go into as much detail as you like. Like on the left-hand side here, we can see some skills, i.e. if you like a candidate that was at a particular university or has a particular qualification, you can really drill down into that much detail if you wish. And once again, same with current companies. Yeah, I did mention two job titles or two searches. I'm going to do the second one now in one moment. So this is your basic job title search. The second one I am going to do will be the lookalike search, and I'm going to do that now in one moment. There are a few questions coming through. One of the questions was about the Boolean. So when I put in multiple skills, does it run the search as or and? It runs the search as and. So it will have both, not one or the other. For those of you who do use Boolean, you can still use Boolean just in the keywords here. So I would put in whatever it is, sales manager, and then if you wanted to use the or the and, that's where you put it in. That's where you use Boolean keywords. You can also use it at the very beginning of the search. So when I put in sales manager, back on, I can go back to the screen because that's where I want to go now. So you can use Boolean here, or you can use it on the next page. So I just mentioned we try to take away, not that we try to remove Boolean altogether because it still is important, but people aren't necessarily familiar with it because it is a language in itself. So we've just taken away the emphasis, let's say. So you don't have to be a Boolean expert, but you can still use it. Okay, I think that's all the questions. Right, so the next option, this is the one I'm really excited about. So as we mentioned, when you're sitting down with a hiring manager and you're trying to figure out, okay, what sort of qualifications do we need? What does our ideal candidate have? Sometimes you just want to turn around and say, you know what? I want them to be like Thomas. He is great at his job. Or I want them to be like Samantha, or I want them to be like Martha, whoever the case is. Now you can do that. So we can run a search based on profiles of employees. So for this example, I'm going to use Matt Davis. Some of you will be familiar with him. And just so it expands, I'm going to use another colleague of mine. I'm going to use Hannah. There she is. So I can run a search based on Matt and Hannah's profile. So let's do that. So what this has done is this has pretty much did all the hard work for me. So if you remember the very first search that we ran, and we just simply put in sales manager in the United Kingdom, we had over 500,000 hits. Too big of a pool. By just putting in two really good colleagues of mine, we can see we have a talent pool here of 563. But not only that, the left-hand side, you will see that a lot of these filters have already been pre-populated and filled in. So that's going on their history. Now, I want to just highlight this one bit, the companies. So that does not mean that Hannah and Matt have worked in Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and so on. What that is telling me is that the type of industry that they have experience, i.e., that they have experience in, i.e., the internet or SaaS in the Microsoft example. So the type of people that I would like to hire if I was doing this as a live search. So I want to hire somebody who has the same experience as Matt and Hannah. Generally speaking, this is what they have on their profile. That's what that's telling me. However, something that came up in the last time I did this demo, I just want to highlight. So there will always be that group or that, let's say, that company that, you know what, we get a million applicants from these, and for whatever reason they just never work out. Maybe we think they're going to be great at the job, it just turns out that they're not. There's always that example of that happening. So with the companies on the left side, let's say I don't want to hire anybody who has Facebook experience. For whatever reason, they just never work out. So if I hover the mouse over it, now if I push X altogether, that will just remove Facebook. But that little circle, if I highlight that little circle, and you see now Facebook comes in red, that excludes everybody that has either worked for Facebook or has Facebook as their current employer. So once again, just explain that a little again, just so I can clear it up. So there's always that example of people who apply that are currently within whatever company, and for whatever reason, they just never work out. Now you can actually eliminate those. So this will also fall under I keep seeing the same applicants, the same profiles. This is how you eliminate that. Okay, so before I show anything else, I'm just going to pause there. Once again, guys, any messages, please shoot them through. Okay, no messages coming through. Okay, so a few more bits that I want to show you before we finish up. Once again, all the refinement filters on the left-hand side, it is the same search screen. You just want to narrow them down a little bit more. So what I want to show you is, hypothetically, let's just say that this is the search that I would run most frequent. Let's say Matt and Hannah were salespeople, and in the majority of organizations, probably the sales job or the customer service job is the one that you constantly would hire over and over again. So to save yourself minutes by having to run the same search and entering in the same information, we're simply going to save this search. So to save this search, I would hover over this option, and we are just going to save this as sales role. We're going to choose a project. So I'm going to create a new project, and I'll get to the project piece in a moment. So we're going to call this sales role. If I can spell. Sales role 2017. And you see this? Yes, send alerts to my home page and email. So if you remember the first page that I seen when I logged in, I said that was my recruitment activity, and I had mentioned the alerts page. So it was showing me what alerts. That's what this is. So what that means is when somebody either joins our network for the first time, or they change their skills and their attributes to match the search that I've just done, they will automatically be added to this, well, I'm going to create the project now, but they will automatically be added to that project. So it just means that you do not have, although we've saved their search, the tool constantly gets refreshed. It's not static. It constantly gets refreshed with new talent as they join the network or as they change their experience to match what we've just done. Okay, so sorry, another thing. So I've just saved my search. In order to find that search, when you're on the recruiter screen, the home page, you will see advanced saved history. Just click on saved, and you'll see a list of all my searches, which are here. And that brings me straight back in. History, I mentioned this at the start, so your history is stored for 90 days. So i.e., if you do something and you forget to save it, not all is lost. However, because you haven't actually saved it, though, you won't get that updated talent pool, but just not all is lost. You will find it underneath your history, and it's there for 90 days. Okay, so let's move on with projects. So let's say this is, as I mentioned, this is something that we constantly keep on hiring, or maybe it's for I want to hire for the summer 2017. So I ran a search, and I like the look of all these people. So I could individually select their profiles just by the tick box option beside them, or if we just like everybody on the first page here, there's 25 of them. Just select where it says 1 to 25. Just simply select that. And what that does is that just selects all of them at mass. So let's in theory say I've looked at all of these and I think they're all a great fit. So I'm going to save them to my project. So I'm not going to go over everything today, guys. So I'm just going to click on Save Project, which is this. If you want to know what each of them mean, just hover the mouse over them. It will tell you. So save the project. We're not going to create a new project. Enter project name. So this is one, I've done a few of them already. I think it's sales role 2107. Yeah. Didn't mean to do that, but we know what it means. Okay, I'm going to add them to that one. Perfect, and we can see, oh, I only selected one profile. Okay, so let's go to projects. So to find the project that we just done, just simply hover over projects, and we will see a list of everything that I've done. Perfect, so here's a list of all the profiles I just saved. Now, a few things I want to show you on this screen. Let's say we like the look of Colin Spence, and I want to contact him individually. I just simply highlight Colin's profile and click on Send an Email. However, let's say we want to send a bulk email. Once again, save some time here. So by selecting All, and up the top I will select Message. This brings up the in-mail option. Now, I could type just a generic in-mail here, and it will go to All. Or else, if I bring my mouse to the right-hand side and select this option, this is where we create and save templates. Okay, so I can have a look for recent templates. Now, these are ones I've done previously. I don't know what I've written in them, but let's just go hello. Okay, hi there, nice to meet you. Okay, so this is ones where either you or your team have saved and you have access to them as well. Once again, this is saving time, and try and personalize them. You'll see the hi first name. That will change depending on who it is you're sending it to, so do not worry about that. But this is where you save templates and you send out mass communication. We do run sessions on best practice for in-mails, so it would be great if you guys come along to that. But just in short, personalize, 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 and remember that, or not remember, most of you might not be aware, but over 55% of people on LinkedIn use a mobile phone or a device. So what that tells you is try and make the message short and snappy. Do not include a big job description because you're just going to lose your audience. Picture yourself on your phone or your device at home. You know, if you're reading something, it's not like you just lose attention if there's so much text. So short and snappy. But anyway, so that's how you do that. I'm just going to show you that again, just to be clear. So if I want to send an individual message, just highlight and click Send Message. That will only go to Colin. If I want to send one at bulk, so I think there's 25 people here, just select All, click on Message, and here's where we go to our template screen, recent templates. These are the ones I've personally saved. These are the ones that my team have saved. Just select it and then click Send. We'll obviously change if you need to change. So on that, let's say we do get a few replies, which is always great. So let's say Colin has replied to us. So I'm going to highlight Colin, and I'm going to change his status to contacted, or sorry, replied. Let's say Sebastian also we've got something from him. Let's say he accepted the offer. and so on and so forth. What this does is that this just puts our workspace in order. Everybody on your team will have access to your projects. It just means that you can work smartly and save time. As I mentioned, the common theme was all about saving time. Here's where you can put your desk in order. So just a few more hints and tricks that I want to show you, but before I move on, once again, any questions, guys, on that? There are some questions. Okay, hold on. Okay, great question. So if an employee resigns from your organization and we require a candidate that matches their exact skills, criteria, and competencies, can we be able to look for a candidate using the ex-employee's profile from LinkedIn? Do they get hidden from our view if they resign from our organization? No, they don't get hidden from your view. And yes, you can still, so yeah, once again, through the lookalike searching, you could just enter in their name. No, they do not get hidden. Any more questions based on what I just shown you guys? Okay, nothing coming through. I'll move on then. We're nearly done. Before I move off this screen, I just want to show you the ask for review option. So what this is all of you at some point, all of you should have some sort of manager or a hiring manager. If they have hiring manager access on LinkedIn, you can send over a profile to them for review. So i.e. if your manager says, you know what, Thomas, you know, a lot of the candidates you're putting through, you know, I just don't think they're quite qualified. Maybe, you know, you need to, you know, start working on on something else, whatever the case may be. So this is where you would ask for their opinion. So if I was to click on ask for review, Matt Davis is not a hiring manager, but I'm just going to use his name. Find Matt, you're not there. Matt Davis. So I would just find his name and then simply enter the message, please review this profile to see if they will be a good match. The only action that Matthew in this instance can take on this profile is literally just to shoot me back a message and say whatever it is he needs to say. So just bear in mind that they cannot take any other action other than letting you know if they agree or disagree or whatever the case may be. So just to get that option, you simply just click ask for a review. However, the person does need to have a hiring manager seat in order to get it. Okay, so a few more things I want to show before we finish. So if I was to click on Colin's page, I just want to highlight the recruiter tools. Now, I don't want to show you all of these. Once again, if you hover the mouse over it, it tells you what they are. The one that I want to concentrate on, so one is tags and the other is reminders. So tags. What tags are let's say, on the net, when you're running searches, you come across some pretty cool profiles that aren't relevant for the job you're looking for. However, they're pretty cool, and at some point in the future, you may want to actually have a talk with these guys. So I could put a tag in here for Colin, and tags would be under a particular skill set. So I would say accountancy, or project manager, or I don't know, social media experts, whatever the case may be. I would put the tag in here, and then I would click on add. And what that would do then is, if I want to find Colin again, or if I want to find a particular pool of people that I have added a tag to saying accountancy, on the search bar, if you remember, we were looking at the refinement filters, and one of the refinement filters says tags, and if you click on tags, it will bring up this pool. So just to be clear, so tag aren't necessarily a project I've created for future options. It very well could be. It's up to you how you want to do this. But if I just simply like the look of Colin and said, yeah, he's got some experience that I think in the future would be pretty cool, I would just put a tag here and say whatever it is that sticks out to you. So as I mentioned, accountancy. Then as I'm running a search, I can look in my refinement filters, click on tags, and I will see a list of all the ones that I've done. I just click on accountants, and then I'd see Colin and whoever else. Lastly, what I want to show you here is alerts. So this is one that comes up quite often, and the best example I use would be, let's say somebody gets great news in your office and they're going to have a baby. everybody's overjoyed, absolutely fantastic news. But at some point, you're going to have to start thinking, okay, that person's going to be out of the office for a few weeks or a few months. What are we going to do? It's probably a little bit too early to be reaching out to people saying we have an opportunity in 6 or 7 months' time. It's probably a little bit too early. But what we can do is we can set a reminder on a particular profile. So let's say Colin is the guy I want to speak to. I'm going to set a reminder to speak to Colin in whatever, September, and you can write whatever it is you want in here. So Martha's leaving in 2 months' time, contact Colin, whatever it is you want to write, and you simply just click add. And what happens is then when you log into LinkedIn on that day, when you log into the recruiter tool now, on that day, you'll get like a pop-up like you would in your mobile phone. You'll get a pop-up notification and then whatever message it is that you have created. So it doesn't have to be that example. That's just the one that I like to use because it probably makes the most sense. If somebody's going to be having a baby, you know they're going to be leaving the office in 5 or 6 months' time. Probably too early to start contacting people saying we have a job for you in 5 or 6 months' time because, I mean, no one's going to say yes to that and wait 5 or 6 months. However, we can set a reminder on profiles that we've highlighted that are a good match for whatever time frame would make the most sense and then contact them. So guys, in regards to today, that's all I wanted to show you really. So just a few different hints and tricks. Hopefully you're able to pick up maybe 1 or 2 new options. For those of you who don't have any questions, you can log off. For those of you who do have questions, I'll stay on the line here and just message me through them. Oh, sorry, something I didn't mention at the start. Everybody on today's call would, of course, get the recording today. So I'll send that out later on. Any questions, guys, just message me through them. Okay, I don't really see any questions coming through. So thank you everybody who attended today. For those of you who do work with Matt Davis, Matt still is your customer success manager. So in general, any particular questions, please do shoot him an email. For everybody else, I am your man. So as I send out the recording today, please feel free to get back in touch and ask me any questions. Everybody, I'm gonna stop this now. So once again, thank you for your time today, and you'll receive an email from me soon.